they will have to go to the Social Security office, to the courthouse, to the health department, to DSS, or, random other places back to their previous workplace. Because sometimes, let's just be honest, you can't get people on the phone, you can't get emails sent, or whatever the case may be. There's certain information that can't get sent that way. And now we're putting people possibly in a situation where they're going to spend a week back and forth on the bus going to some of these places because, again, our bus system is just not the best.
Well, two things I can touch on before closing this topic. One, we know that there's got to be a better way to help people with their documents. I think that's something that we can always work on and try to improve. The other is a little backstory explanation of how we ended up where we're at. The state actually leases Ray Avenue. The workforce development staff were a sublessee on that lease. So when the state looks at another location or looks at even staying at Ray Avenue, they have to go out for bids or put out an RFP. So they did put out an RFP. They only got 2 bids. They got one for Ray Avenue and they got one for McPherson Church Road. The one on McPherson Church came in lower, right? So they have to go with the one on McPherson Church. So to some degree, our hands are tied here. All we can try to do is improve the things that we have control over. And those are talking with FAST and seeing if there's ways we can help people with their documents. So I don't know if that helps or not, but it's kind of the reality.
Thank you, Tracy. I'm with you on that. I agree that there are other ways of retrieving documents. We've all learned during this COVID what we can do better as far as virtual meetings and, Adobe scanning documents on your phone and emailing documents. And if those documents would be acceptable, then that would alleviate that concern. And then this, like you said, talking to FAST, they may be able to add another route or another couple routes to make it easier for people to get to that location. So I think those are 2 things that we could definitely look into.
Yeah, I think we'll have to. And I definitely appreciate what Kia and Isabella are saying. I mean, that's part of the reality too. We've got to try to figure out with our partners what we can do to improve on those areas that we have control over.
I agree. Any other questions for Tracy? Okay, thank you, Tracy.
Thank you.
We will move on to talk Ashley Duncan with the director's the Career Center update. Ashley?
Thank you, Dina. Good morning, everybody, and Happy New Year. I want to take the next few minutes to brief you all on the Career Center, and then following me is our program manager, Ms. Victoria Allen Gray, to review the WIOA program goals. December was really an active month for the Career Center. We have seen the need to increase access to the Career Center, which in turn has become a primary focus for the management team. We are continuing to track the same trend of individuals that don't have access to a computer or the internet and are really turning to us for assistance. The difficulty of COVID and operating in a limited capacity in our Career Center has really made it hard to meet the needs immediately for our community when they turn to us seeking access to our computer center. Due to COVID safety restrictions, we've had to close off 4 out of our 8 computers in our CRC to ensure that we are following the social distancing guidelines that we have in place. And this ultimately has resulted in longer wait lines for our customers, or simply having to come back another time when we have availability. While we have maintained our partners and our employer collaborations in the month of December, we have seen some virtual challenges. Some of these challenges have been meeting the needs of our employers through facilitating on-site hiring events and our participants not showing a strong desire in our workshops that are offered virtually. While we've identified a few of our challenges, we've also been able to identify some of our strengths. We have continued to facilitate off-site hiring events for our employers, and we continue to collaborate with our local partners to combine efforts and host virtual workshops together. We are continuing to work towards facilitating more virtual recruitment events and establishing a stronger presence online. Since we met last, we've begun daily tips on our social media, which has increased our community's awareness of who we are and really keeping our services relevant. On December 16th through the 18th, the Career Center facilitated an on-the-spot hiring event for the Department of Veteran Affairs, and this was at the Raeford location. Just to give you some of the stats from that event, the position that was offered was their advanced medical specialist position. This was ranging from a GS3 to a GS6 position, ranging on their experience. We were able to redeem 258 tickets on Eventbrite. This is our self-service registration platform that we use to share our events on. We were able to schedule 132 interviews for this event. And out of those 132 interviews, 55 job offers were made. These are all federal positions. All of our clients are now going through the pre-employment screening phase. I want to take a minute to read a quote to you guys that was sent on January 5th from the HR director himself. If you want to follow along, this is on the first page of the board report. I want to take another moment to thank you and the entire NC Works team for their roles in assisting with the Veterans Affairs Job Fair. From the time I walked into your office 2 weeks before the job fair took place, you and the team immediately engaged me in efforts to assist and ensure the event's success. During this time of COVID-19, it's more challenging to have an event with many participants. The work you all did in locating the candidates, scheduling the interviews, setting up the conference room, and monitoring and maintaining the flow of the interviews was absolutely amazing. The overall professionalism of the entire NC Works team was phenomenal, and I'm so grateful for all of you. While my words may express my gratitude and appreciation for every one of you, they cannot show the impact you'll have made on so many lives and how much they all appreciate you as well. From the entire Veterans Affairs team, thank you, and thank you. I look forward to this relationship building and us working together to employ individuals to care for our nation's veterans. This is what success looks like for us in the Career Center. Not only was our employer happy, but we were able to assist 55 people with obtaining federal jobs. For those that didn't receive an offer, they've been contacted to attend future hiring events, such as our Cape Fear hiring event. We are tentatively looking at a second hiring event with the Department of Veterans Affairs in March or April. Presently, our focus is on facilitating a hiring event for Cape Fear Valley Health this Saturday, the 23rd. They are in need of well over 100 LPNs and medical assistants. We're excited to share our success at the next upcoming board meeting with you all in March. If you will turn to the Career Center numbers reports and look at the first section under Wagner-Pfizer performance goals, you will see that in all three categories, we were not able to make our goal in Q2, Q4, or the median earnings. We know that we have to improve and that maintaining contact and communication with our job seekers is what's going to bring our numbers up. At the last meeting, a snapshot of our services was mentioned. If you look at the bottom of page 5 under December snapshot, you will see that there's two categories that have been separated. The first is our employer services, and the second is for our job seeker services. I'd like to note this is just a snapshot for the month of December. This does not identify every one of the services that we do track. It's really just to provide a greater detail on what it means when we say services. The categories that are listed are the areas that are a primary focus for us. And if there's any additional categories that you guys would like to see or further explanation on, please let us know. So just to pick a few, on-site visits means that someone from our team made an in-person visit with an employer. Provided job fair services means that we were able to facilitate a hiring event for an employer or planning of an event. And then referred quality candidates shows how many job seekers we referred to employers in the month of December. If you look at the job seeker side, you'll see initial assessment. This means that we went over our job seekers' work history. We identified their employment goals and what they would like to achieve professionally. The snapshot shows how many workshops we offered for the month, which was 4. We identified how many it also shows how many individuals we assisted with their resumes. Again, please provide any feedback that you have, any questions. I'm more than happy to answer. I would like to now give the floor to Ms. Allen Gray to review, Ms. Victoria Allen Gray, I apologize, to review the WIOA performance goals And then following her is our veteran presentation by Mr. Raymond Godsick.
Thank you, Ashley.
Victoria?
I'm sorry. Thank you, Ashley. So you've heard the overall performance of the Career Center, and I just want to use this opportunity to just give some update on the WHEEL program. Can you guys hear me clearly with my mask on?
Yes.
Okay. So for the month of December, the WHEEL program did not do as well as we had hoped, and we want to believe that it was because of the holiday season. But I wanted to use this opportunity to recap a little on the youth program. Since our last meeting, the youth program staff have been working with our partner, the Cumberland County School, Career and Technical Education, which is often heard as the CTE program, to enhance our focus and promotion of the career pathway focused activities that is being sponsored by the Cumberland County School District. The Career Center is actively promoting sector-focused career opportunities on a monthly basis. For example, in December, our pathway was science, technology, engineering, and math, or sometimes called STEM. We've outlined a success story, which will be discussed a little bit later, that highlights the on-the-job training placement of a young adult in the Next Gen program. For the month of January, we are focusing on the hospitality and tourism sector. We've been working very closely with Lori Brantley, who is the Career Development Coordinator for the CTE program, to include program information in her Career Corner and have shared career pathway videos so that the youth can explore careers in various sectors at the nccareer.org website. This website, supported by NC Commerce, allows you to research careers by cluster, occupation, training, and educational level. And when investigating hospitality and tourism cluster, young adults can watch videos from Career One Stop, which is sponsored by the U.S. Department of Labor, Employment, and Training. These programs outline the industry as a whole. It provides overview of various occupations, wages across the career, such as the starting wage, the mid-wage, and the high wage, the core skills necessary for success, and a chock full of essential information for career planning in that specific sector. So every month, the Youth and Young Adult program will be promoting each career pathway to the participants in our program, and thus provides opportunities to do more targeted outreach. So last month in the STEM program, Miss Valerie, who is a 22-year-old, was relocated to Fort Bragg area because of her connection with the military. She has always been academically advanced, and after her hard work and dedication in school, she became a graduate of the University of Texas in Austin. Long story short, Valerie found herself with limited job opportunities, not only because she had relocated during a pandemic, but also because of her specialized degree in chemistry. Her certification in marine biology were difficult to utilize locally. Isaiah Williams, her career advisor in the Next Gen Youth and Young Adult program, coached her, updated her resume, engaged her in career assessments. She was then connected to Contrell Melvin, our business services representative, who immediately went to work securing an OJT opportunity as a quality control lab technician with Nita Gelatin. This success, having Valerie in an OJT program, gives her 800 hours of training for a job she was hired for that fits her background, her education, and her passion for science and laboratory work. Valerie will benefit and bridge the skills gap needed from working with marine life to now working in an indoor laboratory facility. Valerie started her OJT program on December 14, 2020, and she's doing very well, as is reported by her business services representative. The youth program has added 2 new career advisors effective Monday, January 11, and our focus remains outreach and recruitment for out-of-school youth. Today, we're currently hosting part 2 of the Financially Fit workshop, which started at 10 a.m. and will 12 noon. So if we can look at the Pace Career Center numbers, we're gonna go, I wanted to point out the adult DW and youth number as a state negotiator. So as you can see, with the adult performance state negotiation, our employment for Q2, which the plan was 72%, our actual number is at 58.3%. That's an 80% achieved, which leaves us in the red. So there are areas on these performance numbers that shows that we have some work to do. We still have some work to do, and especially with the youth department, hence we went ahead and added more career advisors to our team to strengthen the youth department. On our next page, we can look at our performance as of today, as of December 31st, 2020. Our new enrollments, our goals are 130. We have 12 for the young adult program. And enrolled in occupational skills training, the goal is 42. We have 5, December 31st. And we're enrolled in work-based learning, the goal is 10. We have 4. Total youth served, we're supposed to have 130, but that's the goal. We have 23. For the adult and dislocated muscle program or performance, new enrollments, the goal is 164. As of December 31st, 2020, we have 92. Total adults served, 90, that's the goal. We have 87. Total dislocated workers served, the goal is 74. We have 69. Enrolled in work-based learning, the goal is 25. We have 13. Enrolled in occupational skills training, the goal is 93. We have 49. So we can see that we do see here that we still have some work to do, and we're definitely addressing any weak areas.
Thank you, Victoria. Does anyone have any questions for Victoria? Okay, well, thank you, Ashley. Thank you, Victoria, and kudos to all of you for all you do. And yes, we do have some work, but as long as it's being addressed, it seems like we'll be going in the right direction.
Yeah.
Okay, next we have our veterans presentation by Raymond Godsave. Raymond, are you ready?
I am ready. The slide, I have a presentation that would need to be shared.
Okay, so
Thanks.
Dana, when I was trying to upload the PowerPoint on this, I tried it from both emails and had an issue. I don't know if anyone else had an issue. I was trying to be able to look at it ahead of time, but was not able to. So I don't know if it was just me.
I did not have any issues opening it.
Maybe it was just my computer for some reason.
Are you guys, Cindy, is somebody gonna?
Sorry, I have a problem. I'm sorry, I have a problem too, but I think it was done in a notebook on Mac. So if you don't have the app to open it, you can open it. And that's what I'm finding. So yeah, I do have a problem opening it.
Ours was done for a PowerPoint presentation. Can you just give us a moment? We're trying to get IT up here to help assist us to get this on the screen for you guys so you can follow along with us. Just one moment.
Okay, thank you.
So I guess in the meantime, I could go ahead and kind of start and work through. It seems like some of you have the presentation available yourself. So I'm Raymond Godsave. Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
Excuse me. Thank you. I was asked, I'm the hybrid veterans consultant and the manager of the Fort Bragg office. And I was asked to just give here we come. So we're on track here. I was asked to give an overview of what the veteran services look like here in the county, as well as to speak specifically to numbers, hence the importance of the slide of the presentation itself. Okay. So if you could to the next slide. This slide gives you an overview, obviously, of the current population and the projected populations of veterans in the Cumberland County. I specifically broke it down into the age groups, at least the first two categories, of generally who would be seeking employment services at the Career Center. And then you can see the total 17 to 20, 85 plus within the county. So there is, over the next 15 years, a decline, going to be projected decline in the veterans population. Next slide, please. This is the Fort Bragg data. A lot of people will be familiar with this. And so approximately how many active duty soldiers and reservists or those on temporary duty, as well as their family members, and then between 6,000 to 7,000 service members transition each year. And that's a population that we have the ability to capture some of. And that could be from your ETSing E4 to the retiring general officer. That whole gamut comes through there. So those are opportunities for Cumberland County to capture versus some of them going off back to their home. Thank you. So the Career Centers, the services of veterans within the Career Center starts with everyone within the Career Center having the obligation to provide priority of service to all veterans or eligible spouses. And that essentially means that a veteran or eligible spouse receives a service earlier in time or instead of a covered person. And for a short presentation, we're not going to get into the weeds of the priority of service. Many of you are aware of it. We do training with the entire Career Center staff. And once a year, I just did this with the office last week. And there is a presentation from USD Vets on NC Works in the staff online resources that anyone can review their presentation on priority of services. And I will provide, the end of this presentation, it has references to any of those requirements to us by federal law. Thank you. Again, here's just a snapshot of what's happened in terms of veterans within the Career Center between 2019, that was calendar year 2019, and calendar year 2020. And so any of these numbers are just simply the report was run through NC Works, and they are a registered veteran. So the total numbers of registered veterans, the total numbers of individuals who received a service, the Wagner-Pfizer applications, Wagner-Pfizer individual served, the WIOA individual served. The SBE stands for Significant Barrier to Employment. We're going to cover that in a minute under the veteran staff, what they do. But those are the veterans who are eligible to be seen by the veteran staff. And then, of course, the last entry was the number of individuals seen by the veteran staff specifically. Thank you. Please. So the veteran staff has 3 distinct staff members. And we are funded, it's called the Jobs for States Veterans Grant, so the JVSG program. And we have the Disabled Veteran Outreach Program Specialist, that we're more commonly known as the DVOP. They assist veterans with significant barriers to employment. And there's an enrollment process that these veterans have to do. Currently, we have 6 on staff, with 1 starting February 1st. And then there's the local veteran employment representative, or the leaver. That's Mr. Butler. And he works specifically with employers and promoting the hiring of veterans. And then we have 1, what's called a hybrid consultant, and that's me. And Mr. Butler, the leaver, is the vet supervisor over all of us and does have responsibilities throughout the whole Prosperity Zone. And then the hybrid consultant, myself, I manage the Fort Bragg office, and I can do both functions. I can do DVOP functions or leaver functions. Thank you. So I was asked to show what our services look like. And specifically, this is what the DVOP services, the one who works with the person to get that job ready. That's kind of the key of what the DVOP does. Person 1 has to qualify for the services. Then, as you can see, we enroll them, and there's some specifics that we do for enrollment. That all has to be done before the DVOP can enter a service into NC Works. They have to meet the eligibility, and they have to enroll and go through those criteria. Then the DVOP works with the person to provide them intensive services, intensive career services, focusing on their barriers to make sure that they're job ready. The services are individualized. It differs from person to person, but oftentimes we're working with things like applications and their job preparation. We're referring them to WIOA, or OJT, or youth, and there's an enormous amount of one-on-one counseling, listening, working with that person. If you were to dig into the regulation that says, hey, this is what a DVOP does, it gets down in the weeds and tells that the reason the vets don't work with every veteran who comes in is the reason the vet staff does it is because USDOL tasks us with providing that more intensive service with the highest needs veterans. So that's why, and our services take longer, one-on-one with each individual. Next. So the leaver or the hybrid, again, we have, in addition to any supervisory duties, we're part of the business service team, advocate for veterans. We conduct employer outreach. We specifically target federal employers or federal contractors. And then another responsibility, of course, is providing training within the center about what the JVSG staff does and any kind of priority service trainings that are needed. Next, please. And here is a look at some of the successes that we've had from July through December. And we all know that has a bit of our old way of doing pre-COVID to the current situation we're in with COVID. But so the veteran staff within Cumberland County provided more than 1,200, almost 1,300 outreaches to veterans or their organizations. The feeding of families for a week's worth of food, Christmas meals for homeless or at risk, 169 different veterans enrolled in case management services, plus 60, as well as 60 of those being veterans who we have assigned from the Department of Veterans Affairs. Those are voc rehab, vocational rehabilitation employment clients who we do some specific things with. We also provide LMI services to voc rehab applicants. Myself and Mr. Butler, 54 veterans became employed during that time frame from the vet staff. The housing, myself and Mr. Butler did 670 employer engagements, and then as well as three hiring events during that time frame. And of course, COVID caused 5 others to be canceled or postponed. Okay, next, please. Here are some of our partners that we frequently work with. Of course, USDOL being the funding, the overall guidance of running of our program comes from them. Next, please. These are the references from the Title 38 of the U.S. Codes, chapters 41 and 42, as well as the Veterans Program letters. And there's always a companion TEAGL with them. And then also into the priority stream. These references can pretty much tell you anything that you may have to know or want to know as far as the vet program, what we cannot do, and and the priority service. Next, please. The breakdown of our veteran staff and where we're located. And then, of course, I'll ask if there are any questions. I know that was super fast. But, if there are any questions, please let me know.
Okay, thank you so much, Raymond. Does anyone have any questions for Raymond? Okay, if not, then we will move on to Teddy and the business service update. Teddy?
Yeah, I do have one question, if I can.
Sure.
We talk about integrated services, and that's one of the ideals, let's say, or concepts under WIOA. And it's very unique at the Cumberland County Workforce Development Center, Career Center, where every area is different. I think we have a lot of good things and a lot of good team members, a lot of good partners. I think one of the areas that we always struggle with is kind of this nebulous, I'm going to say nebulous, integrated service delivery concept. Sometimes it's an opportunity, sometimes it's a challenge. It's not because of the people involved, in my opinion, it's more the way things are structured. It's not perfect. And of course, we don't live in a perfect world. We shouldn't have expectations that are perfect. But I think when it comes to the interaction of our staff and the way that we do things, and the reason I'm tacking this on to this presentation is I think sometimes veteran services is viewed as a separate component out there, but they are a big part of our team and a very important part, obviously, because of the size of the veteran community that we have here and the transitioning military community. So I wanted to kind of present that to Raymond and say, Raymond, in your opinion, I mean, do you see things where there are opportunities for improvement or things that are working good or things that, we could focus on differently for the future?
I will tell you that being at the Fort Bragg location, pre-COVID, we had a core consultant coming out once a week and doing things, and to be there to provide service, because at the Fort Bragg office, we're all vet staff. Technically, if a non-vet staff person comes in, we can't provide service. We're not turning them away, but we can't provide that official service. To provide the official service, we have to refer them to downtown office. That's not ideal. And we don't turn them away because, Fort Bragg, you work on Fort Bragg coming within our, if you turn people away, complaints get filed. They go from the garrison commander to Raleigh back down saying, well, why aren't you doing this? That's kind of always fun. So that is one way of, I know that's a core person for being in our locale, but there's an opportunity that it takes some time to expand it if the person is there to see the numbers make it worthwhile. There are opportunities where the vet staff can be more a part of certain events where we historically haven't been, if they're structured. The tricky thing is the vet staff has to be there for the purpose of and working only with that qualified or seeking that qualified veteran. DOL will have issue if we are screening just every single person or something like that, and we're doing a lot with non-vet people. Then so it's a matter of balancing the event or the purpose of what they're doing. Are they working with, does it fall within the purpose? So there are definitely opportunities for more integration. It is definitely a slippery slope, though, that we've seen. We've gone up and down sometimes with this, that we see things coming about that somebody will have issues, say, no, you can't do that, and this is why.
Okay. I just think that's good to know, because there's certain rules and certain things they operate under that are constraints, but I think there are some opportunities for us to work together in different ways, and it may be something we talk about, and look at, is there a way to have somebody from the provider side? I'm assuming that's what you're saying. At Fort Bragg, a certain amount of time. So something to consider.
Okay, good question. Thank you, Tracy. Anyone else have anything for Raymond? Okay, let's bring in Teddy, and you can do our business service update, please.
Thank you, Dina. Good morning, all. Can y'all hear me okay?
Yes, we can.
Okay, thank you. So the last several months, we've been working not only here at the Career Center, but also with the state and Raleigh and other local areas to come up with a way to not just support our existing businesses and to maximize those relationships, but also to work together in regards to business outreach. And we touched on some of these things today already, and there's a lot of opportunity here to not only work more closely together, but to collaborate and share resources. That's really what the ultimate goal is for this new policy and the forthcoming employer services protocol that's been sent out. So the purpose of this also is to work together for the reporting mechanisms that are required by the Department of Labor as it goes back to Raleigh. And that's in regards to our employer outreach, not just to existing NC Works businesses, but to those businesses that are not in NC Works. It also focuses on our work-based learning activities and the overall business services codes as it relates to how we document activities with businesses in the system. There's a lot of things that we talk about, and you hear quite often here that if it's not in NC Works, it didn't happen. And so there's a lot of things we do with businesses. It can be challenging at times to get all the information back in the system while also maximizing the overall goals of the Career Center. And that's why it's so important for us to work closely together and to communicate more regularly and to find ways to tackle some of these opportunities as one team. So in the essence of time, I'm just going to read the background of this, and then I'll open it up to questions if anybody has any. But so the background here is, as it says in the policy, employers requiring services from the Cumberland County NC Works Career Center should receive streamlined and consistent information from all workforce professionals, the Cumberland County Workforce Development Board, and NC Works Career Center staff. An employer services protocol was created to inform all staff of internal expectations that are required for initial and ongoing communication with our area's employers. this protocol was discussed and revised according to feedback from management, members of the business services team, and all Career Center staff. So instead of going through the entire protocol today, I just want to mention that regarding the protocol, that it's designed to be a living and working document. So as we try to move at the speed of business, there are times when this document will have to be updated regularly. And that's where my role and the Career Center Operations Manager position is so critical to how this information is shared throughout the staff, with staff, and with our partners and leaders in the community. And so to that effect, that's something else that's also connected to this, is how we work with our local partners as it relates to business outreach and supporting existing business relationships. And so that really kind of summarizes this. If there's any questions or comments or feedback, please let me know, and I'm glad to answer any questions.
Teddy, this is an approval action item, correct? So we need to know, does anybody have any questions or concerns regarding?
Madam Chair, I believe this is going to be delayed until March because of the timing that it was shared, but I'm
Okay.
not sure.
Well, has everybody had a chance to review it? And if we have, we'll move forward and vote on it, and if not, we'll postpone it until March. So can I get an idea of whether or not you guys have had a chance to look at this?
Yes, yes.
This is
Most of
Robert.
you
I'll be
have-
honest. No, I've not, but I defer to the will of the group.
Okay,
Dina, this is Lee. I have not either, but I do have a question, and this is just concerning the performance metrics, and that is, will we as a board get to see those metrics, or is that something that will not be a part of board review?
Teddy, can you answer that question?
Yes, sir, we can. Yes, ma'am, happy to. So, yes, sir, we can put this together in a reporting format, and then at future board meetings decide how much is too much information. There's a lot of, as you review the protocol, you'll notice there's a few dozen services codes that we track as it relates to business communications. And we can keep it, if y'all want to go that far into it, we can. Or we can keep it more high level, like for instance, how many new businesses have we, new business accounts that we set up? How many job postings have we done, and things of that sort. But yes, we can definitely prepare a report that is shared monthly and definitely at the board meetings.
Yeah, no, I really appreciate that, because I think I don't think we need to have necessarily the detail level, or if it needs to be a big presentation, but it looked like very good information, and just be looking through it today in terms of processes and measuring what we're doing in order to achieve those milestones or those goals. So whether you guys actually present it is another question, but at least providing that data so we can look at it as board members, I think would be really good. Thank you.
And having had a chance to review it quickly, this is all internal, right, Teddy?
Yeah,
Teddy?
Robert, this is mostly for internal communication. However, there are times when, like for major employers, when it's important that we work with outside organizations like FCDC, just to make sure that we're maximizing the employer's time. So while this is all internal, it also does support the partner.
Yeah, I'm with you. Yeah, I'm with you, but this document here is really for internal. So I've got, if the group feels for it, I have no concern moving forward if that's the will of the group. I don't have any significant questions.
Does anyone else have any questions or comments? Okay, is the board ready to vote on this, or do you guys prefer to wait until the March meeting? Okay, well, I'm going to start with a motion to approve.
This is Diana, a second.
A second?
Yes, this is Diana. I second that.
Any other discussion or comments? All in favor?
Aye. Aye.
Aye.
Aye.
Can I clarify
Aye.
who made the motion?
I'm sorry, what did you, Cynthia, was that you?
Yes, can I clarify who made the motion?
Sure. Diane, I know you made the second motion. Who made the first motion? Isabella, was that you that made the first motion?
No, that wasn't me.
I thought it was you, Dina.
No, I asked for the first motion.
This is Nora. If nobody else claims it, I'll take it.
Nora is making the first motion and Diana on the second. Okay, so if all are in favor, it's so moved. Thank you. Does anybody have any other questions, comments, concerns about today's meeting or anything else? Okay, if not, then I thank everybody for being here. Everybody have a great week, and I would like to ask for a motion to adjourn the meeting.
I'll take that one. It's Robert.
Robert, second one? Diana? Okay, so moved. Thank you, everyone. Have a great week. Stay healthy.
Thanks. Bye-bye.
Thank you too. Bye.